What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe. Friday night, another wild and wacky week for me, but finally doing the thing, just making sure we're good everywhere. I think we're good everywhere, but the tick of the talk, I'll get that organized in a second. But super glad to be back. It's Friday night. I'm gonna try to make this as painless as possible. Already off the rails. What is going on? Silence, you fool. Crazy shit. Too many puppies. Anyway, glad to be back. Hope everybody's tuning in. I appreciate y'all. We're going to get through the whole week of music coverage, the week that was. Happy Friday the 13th. You know, a date built in superstition and prejudice, but not by us. So let me just make sure I got the tick of the talk going here, and then we will continue. It has been a time. Let's see. How's everybody doing out there? Like I said, I hope everybody's okay. It has been wild and wackiness kind of couple of weeks for me. I'm trying to get back next week to do the show on Thursday as we intended, because that is the best. And that's what we like to do. But yesterday I had a secret mission, my third in 4 weeks, where I was not able to do the show on Friday. Let's have a liquid death. Melissa's here. What's up, hon? My love. Cheers. I peeked in on you when you were sound asleep. I have a funny story to tell you later, and then we'll get dinner when I'm done here. But all right, let's do the damn thing. Thanks for everybody who's watching. I think Don is at a concert. He will probably not be tuning in this week, but that's fine. You can't do it. It's just like when I played in bands. You can't be at every show. It's not humanly possible. Hope everybody likes my George Corpse Grinder shirt. Respect the neck. Hilarious. You guys are hilarious. But anyway, we always start the show with the announcements. We'll get into the tip menu and all the things soon. I am live. The best experience for this show is, as always, Ken Kaltenbeck is here. What's up, brother? And Traxy and Yomoji 418. What up? What up? We're usually live on all the things: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I like hanging out on TikTok. Respect the neck, bro. Respect the neck. I didn't get it, put it into the show today, but George made his like monthly donation to all the kids' hospitals and orphanages and dropped like literally a U-Haul truck worth of stuffed toys that he gets from playing the claw game. He dominates the claw game wherever he goes. So who says that death metal doesn't have a heart? They lied to you. They lied to you. But anyway, it's Friday night. Normally not our regular time to go on. And like I said, hopefully next week I get back on schedule. Reminder, if you're in the LA area or within striking distance of traveling to LA in May, we are giving away a pair of tickets to see Echo and the Bunnymen at the legendary Greek Theater. The band I grew up listening to. It's super cool. We partnered with Golden Voice to bring you this ticket giveaway. We have another giveaway next week for a vinyl giveaway, which is super cool. We just wrapped up our giveaway on our big pile of books. I notified the winners, waiting to get a response. And then we have more stuff to do and give away this spring. So I'm really excited about all these things. We usually start the news with some sad news. This one's a heartbreaker. Christina Cavallera, the daughter of Max and Gloria Cavallera, passed away after an illness this week. She was in her own right a music industry legend. She started out her career working with her famous mom and dad and being a tour manager for Soulfly when they launched that band in 1998. And she went on to work in the business for a long time all over the world. And just very sad. She herself had a life that was kind of, unfortunately had some tragedy in it. She had lost 2 of her 4 children to infant deaths, and obviously her brother Dana died when she was very young also. And it's a really tough time. We love the Cavaliers here. I have interviewed Max Cavalera more than any other artist in 20 years of doing music journalism. And so I'm always very saddened when somebody good passes away. What's up, Death Rattle? Grandfathered in. I mean, like, okay, I guess, man. Again, you have to earn your own stripes. Even if you got a family name and wealth, she certainly didn't come from money. But I met her once and she was super nice, and everything I ever heard about her was positive. What's up, Death Rattle? Again, some people are, even if a lot of people are born with a silver spoon and they put heroin in that spoon and shoot it into their arm. She didn't. So, just my 2 cents. What do I know? Dillinger Compound is here. What's up? Late Night Keefe on a Friday. Thanks, Dillinger, for always being a real one. This was another sad one this week. Here, let me embiggen this. Andrew Rankin, who was the original drummer of the Pogues, died. Seems like there's a version of the Pogues. I guess they have been playing for a few years. But Andrew passed away. Very sad. Also, Dave Alexander, who was the original bassist of Iggy and the Stooges, died. We were talking about this last week with these major illnesses. A lot of our heroes are leaving us, which really sucks. Again, also Greg Brown, the original guitar player of Cake, died last weekend. Kind of got overshadowed by everything else. But if you like the band Cake, that's a band for you. 4 Dillinger shows in Europe announced today. Amazing. I did not know that. Today was kind of a drowned in my inbox day. Also, in the pop culture world, Bud Cort, you definitely know his many roles, but most notably Harold and Maude, the cult favorite. Brixton Academy. That's one of my bucket list places to go. Hopefully England in 2027. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to get there. But Bud Cort, rest in power. Don't know the details of his passing, but I'm very sad to hear that. And maybe I need to give Harold and Maude was never a movie that was like held a lot of sway with me, but maybe I need to give it another try. Tell me what you think out there if you're Harold and Maude fans. I know Melissa is, but anybody else, if you love Harold and Maude, tell me. And not notably to anybody else that's not a New York Giants football fan, but a footnote in our history, Ray Hanley died. Ray Hanley had the misfortune of following Bill Parcells as the coach of the Giants from 1991 to 1992. He coached 2 seasons. He got the job because Bill Belichick turned down the Giants job because he didn't want to follow Parcells. He saw the Giants probably coming apart a little bit as a team, barely making it and winning that Super Bowl. And Bill went to go coach the Cleveland Browns, which he was terrible at, by the way, before he went to the Patriots and his epic run, his eventual Hall of Fame run. And Ray Hanley had been like a member of Mensa. He went to Stanford where he was a running back. He used to do like complex calculus in his head for fun. He would have loved Wordle, but he died recently. Obviously, the Giants were terrible for a couple of years, underachieving, we'll say, not a playoff team in 91 to 92. But anyhow, rest in peace, Ray Hanley. Celebrating birthdays this week, the great Henry Rollins of Rollins Band and Black Flag and all the things. Rollins, it continues to be an interesting enigma. He did an interview with Tom Green. I need to kind of do some news around this really quick. He did an interview on the Tom Green's new web show, and he talked about how once in a while he misses getting on stage and yelling into a mic and doing hardcore metal. But the problem is that he didn't ever want to become kind of a jukebox, a lounge act, what he considers to be like artists going out and only doing the hits. Rollins feels like that's ingenuine. Hey, Curtis is here for a minute. What's up? Rob Arango is here, just talking about the weekly live stream, brother. Good to see you. So Rollins celebrated a birthday today. Curmudgeonly and old. Sometimes misses being in a band, mostly not. Peter Hook of New Order and Joy Division, and Peter Hook and the Light had a birthday this week. This is an older picture of him when he was younger. Also celebrating a birthday, this kind of makes me sad. John Williams, the great composer of every theme song you love from classical music and movies, celebrated a birthday this week. I think he's 93 or 94. This is him. Joseph Williams in the picture there is his son, who's the singer of Toto and has been for a long time. I think he would make a very good singer for Journey if Arnell can't figure it out. Also celebrating a birthday this week is one of my favorite singers ever, San Francisco's own Mark Osageda of Death Angel and Kerry King and The Wedding Band with Kirk Hammett and a bunch of other things. Fun stuff. Oh, look, a cunt. I don't know. If you're America, it's so rough here right now, but watching Pam Bondi eat complete shit while lying her face off in front of Congress was pretty amazing. She not only is not qualified for her station, she doesn't understand the law in America, of which she is the senior most legal authority in American history in terms of the position. Not the Supreme Court, but actually the Attorney General. Wild. Shit is wild. Anyway, moving right along. I would do this for free, and I do this mostly for free. Ghost Cult, we do have some advertising on our website, but we do accept tips. The best way to tip us is via super like or super thanks on our YouTube at Ghost Cult Mag, but we have a Ghost Cult Live YouTube now, as well as my personal YouTube that I'm going to start doing some fun things with, behind the scenes, karaoke jams, maybe some of my band stuff will live there. We update our link tree every day. We do this mostly, we're trying to earn a wage doing this, but it's really hard. It's mostly a volunteer operation heading into our 14th year. And but yeah, if you're feeling tipsy, shoot us a tip. We also take Cash App, Venmo, Ko-fi, all at Ghost Cult Mag. PayPal, all the things. There's our Cash App if you want to check it out. Okay, it's time for the news rundown. And as always, when we do the news rundown, we discuss metal festivals. And there was a lot of them announced this week. So let's jam on it. But first, the features. Sorry, news rundown next, features now. I should probably do a rundown of the itinerary of every show, right? A couple of big ones this week. Mark Mengi, we've been doing a lot of stuff with Metal Allegiance, but Mark is also the founder and brain, the mastermind, the brain power behind King Ultra Mega, which is the Soundgarden tribute you've been seeing rolled out the last year, out on Raining Phoenix Music, right in time for Curtis to probably not miss this mention. But Pretty Prado is here. What's up, buddy? So, Mark Mengi is brilliant bass player. I saw him at Metal Allegiance last month play Cliff Burton's bass from Day on the Green. He's an incredible bassist, and King Ultra Mega is awesome. They're working their way up to a full album release and all the things. But meanwhile, one song at a time, this is pretty amazing. I saw the debut live of King Ultra Mega with Elisa White-Gluse, formerly of Arch Enemy. Got some Arch Enemy news in a minute. Talking about, doing The Day I Tried to Live It. It was incredible. It was incredible. Also, I interviewed 84 Days. If you haven't heard of 84 Days, they are a punk rock group made up of Randy Bradbury of Pennywise and Cameron Webb. Cameron Webb is the super producer of Motorhead and Social Distortion and every big metalcore and pop punk band. And so they have a super group. They also have Tony from No Doubt on drums and the guitar player from the Vandals contributing. And it's a pretty badass pop punk and hardcore record. And it's basically songs that Randy had that were not appropriate for. It was like, this doesn't sound like Pennywise. Let me put this out. So this is, kind of a solo vehicle for Randy, but it was really awesome. I interviewed both Randy and Cameron is very, was like, I'll chat with you next time about production stuff. So I would love to really talk to him again and drill down with him and talk more production things. So yeah, real good. Also, let's see, features. Also, just to catch you up, In case you missed it, I recently interviewed David J., formerly of Bauhaus and Love and Rockets, about his new Anti-Ice single. This is him here with Shepard Fairey on their collab poster. He also worked with Seattle artist Tomo77, whose artwork and graffiti is all around town. I also interviewed Nicholas Moriarty of Nicolas Cage Fighter. Is anybody else excited to see Nicolas Cage in the live-action Spider Noir thing on Amazon? I'm so pumped for this. I love comic book nerd shit, and I'm really excited. He was so good in the 2 animated Spider-Man movies as Spider Noir. Glacial Musical Podcast wraps up our series this weekend on Dio with Dream Evil. Diminishing returns to the Dio solo career, but super interesting and fun to chop it up with Don DeLamont and, of course, the host Nick Cameron. Really, really fun series on Dio. Our next series is on Megadeth. Next week, we're going to do a Chaser episode. So the beer during the week, this regular series, and then a Chaser. And the Chaser is going to be on Record Store Day, where we deep dive the entire catalog of Record Store Day and talk about what our buy lists will be and what they will not be. And then I think I will do a metal and rock centric only Record Store Day preview and post-mortem. And a reminder, Ghost Cult Mag has a podcast. This show will be a podcast. You can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. I saw, I forgot what I was doing. I went back, I got distracted. I have no idea what's going on. Is this my cup? I have to pee. This is how my brain works on ADHD. I only took 1 Ritalin today. I probably should have took 2. But anyway, now it's time for the news rundown. And now we will talk about metal festivals. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. Like Wayne's World. I'm having fun. Tomas passed by, Joe passed by, and Mike passed by on the good old TikTok. How it feels entering a festival, how it feels leaving. I believe The Revenant is getting a re-release, right? Is it 10 years already? Oh my God, that is insane. And just a quick reminder, if you follow us, we will follow you back when this show is over. Warped Tour continues to add bands. If this is a thing for you, definitely check it out. Their socials is the place to keep it locked. When the whole lineup is complete for each date, we will break it down. But it does seem kind of hard to do when they're adding 5 to 10 bands every day. It's a little difficult to kind of get it in there. But anyway, let us see. Mojave Experience is coming up March 20th to 21st. I will be there. Looking forward to it. Earthless and Dead Meadow headlining. Also, Milwaukee Metal Fest applied to go cover this. Acid Bath, Killswitch Engage, Ministry, and a whole bunch of other killer bands that I love. So I'm really pumped for it, including Death Angel doing Act 3, which is awesome because I missed that. This just got the complete lineup. This is Camp Punksylvania celebrating 15 years. Body Count, Pump, and Face to Face. A Wilhelm Scream, Co-Defendants, Pink Shift. We've interviewed all those bands. Bad Cop, and a whole bunch of others in Pennsylvania, right near the Poconos. Takedown Fest got announced this week. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, the Wild Hearts President, and Grand Magus, and a bunch of other bands we like in the UK. Bloodstock has announced their 3rd official winter gathering, but their 2nd in a row, headlined by Rotting Christ. We covered Rotting Christ at the Parthenon doing their 35th anniversary set last year. So they're still continuing to do the 35 years of Rotting Christ, and I think they're probably going to call it a day when that's over. But this looks really cool. Witch Sorrow, that's a really good band. Pest Control, fun name. So, yeah, fun. I wonder if they'll add a few more bands, but we covered that this year. Our guy, Bill Maudsley in the UK. We've got a few UK people coming on now to do more stuff where we cover more live things. Bottle Rock is already sold out of Saturday tickets. I'm not attending this year, but I hope to go back in a future year. It was a lot of fun last year. Also, reminder, Prepare the Ground. Basically, the North American Road Burn is taking place in late May. Decibel Metal and Beard Fest takes place in early May. Power Trip, Municipal Waste, Kylisa, Chromags, Cryptopsy. Looks pretty badass. Muddy Roots just announced their whole lineup last week, and now they've announced they will do a Brazil edition this year, as well as a Europe edition. So that's pretty fun. Revolution Calling. This is a punk rock festival in Europe, headlined by Cockspar on their farewell tour. Blood for Blood, Kickback, Foundation, Youth of Today, Alone in a Crowd, Hope Conspiracy, Project X, Propane. Propane just signed to Napalm Records for a new record. That's really exciting. So I look forward to hopefully getting an interview with those guys. Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical is a huge Propane fan. Road to Ruin is here. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Much appreciated. All righty. Let's see. What else? Monsters of Rock Cruise has announced a pre-party with Yesterday and Today. Madam X, Shot of Poison. I think that's like a Poison tribute band, maybe with former members of Poison, Pretty Boy Floyd, and more. And Soto and Beeler, which is Jeff Scott Soto and Beeler, who we interviewed recently, Jason Beeler. Forever Death Fest is coming back with Young Widows and Atomic Cult. This looks pretty killer at Avondale Music Hall. Pig Destroyer is on day 2. That was all the festivals. More to come. Tommy Benson, you're funny. Anyway. So in concerts this week, big news out of Turkey. Turkey has canceled an upcoming concert from the European tour with Behemoth and Slaughter to Prevail because of questionable morals. Obviously, Behemoth is the overtly satanic, formerly black metal band that is basically now a theatrical death metal band. Slaughter to Prevail, I'm not a big fan of because I feel like bands have been doing what Slaughter to Prevail does for decades. They're just kind of the hot thing right now. I don't think they're that great myself, but a band from Turkey. And then Nergal came out and was like, of course we were banned by the puritanical people of, the government of Turkey, this, that, the other thing. So this is a wonderful photo by Rich Price Photography. Rich used to shoot for us in the UK for a long time, and then he stepped out to do other things, but this is a gorgeous photo. Not to be outdone, Pantera just booked an arena show in Turkey. I don't know, Pantera has a lot of songs about Satanism and drug use and weed and whiskey. But somehow, Pantera is playing kind of off dates from their Metallica summer tour, headline dates across Europe. So wild. Nothing else booked after this for Pantera. We'll see what happens. Down is heating up. We'll talk about that. The Church. I don't know if you're a fan of The Church. I saw The Church last year with Afghan Wigs, and they were marvelous. They had an incredible record out in 2024. They are touring the singles, 1980 to 2025 North American tour, coming in June. I wouldn't mind going to see them again. They were wonderful. This is a bluegrass and folk play, The Porch on a Windy Hill, a new play with old music taking place in New York City. And our own Omar Cordy took in the opening night show and wrote a review of it. I didn't think that this kind of music was in his wheelhouse, but he really enjoyed it. So might be worth checking out. Cattle Decapitation, Brujeria, and No Cure tour coming up soon. Ghost is winding down their current leg of the USA Skeletor. This is their second full-length American tour, supporting their Skeleta album of last year, the Ghost Co. album of the year. Much to everybody's chagrin, even though I thought it was awesome. And did get the most votes from our staff across the world. It was a very close vote. Crowbar Face Fuck Off is here. What's up? Good to see you. So yeah, Ghost dropped a new video today in time for Valentine's Day. It was very goth and romantic for the song Umbra. And it's, I know Ghost, not hearing too many people complain about the phoneless shows like they were a while back. Prong has some other tour dates coming up. In Europe, they're celebrating their 31 years of cleansing with an occasional show this year, as well as their live album that's coming out trying to get my hands on one of those. Maybe we'll catch up with our good buddy Tommy Victor again, a guy who yelled at me once at CBGB's back in the 90s. Castle Rat has announced some additional shows on the off dates from the Amon Clock tour. That's Amon Amarth and Death Clock. Uwada and Mortis are doing a tour. Pretty cool Uwada acoustic black metal record, kind of the same vibe as Zaster or Panopticon, who people know that I love. Dillinger says, I guess the Lemonheads are done. I guess Evan Dando is a prick. We were talking about that earlier today. Evan Dando is a prick. I was a big Lemonheads fan. I love It's a Shame About Ray, and I love Boston Punk. And they were, he was a good-looking dude and goofy and self-aware, and they were a fun little band. And then he's like literally ruining his career with, swears up and down he's not on drugs, but he has very druggy behavior, which I don't like. Jaybird is here. What up, Jaybird? Atreyu has added some additional spring headline shows around their other tour already announced with Seven Dust that begins soon. Fire from the Gods, now fronted by Mike Seatown, formerly of Bury Your Dead and a few other bands, is now the singer of Fire from the Gods since Channer went solo. AJ Channer. Massive Wagons, which is kind of one of the UK Clutch, who's a band Ghost Cult loves, is the Everywhere We Go UK tour coming soon in April. You can always tell the European and Europe tour dates because the dates are backwards from America. Ha ha ha. Deicide and Cattle Decapitation co-headline tour coming up soon. Kind of fun. The Black Keys, I don't know if this is a band for you, but the Black Keys have announced a world tour. I know they were kind of canceled some tour dates in the last few years, saying that they were not, economically viable. So I wonder if they're going to play smaller venues and do, residency type things instead of those things. John 5 has announced the European headline tour. Always go see John 5. Super fun. If you love guitar nerd shit, his VIPs are awesome. He gives a lot of time. He talks to people, takes photos with you, not next to you or behind you. He gives merch, guitar picks. I love John 5. He's great, and he always puts on a fun show, kind of like a Rob Zombie light, if you will. Adelita's Way is a band we've interviewed a while back from Las Vegas. They are starting to ramp up the tour machine again. I know they had a record last year that kind of came and went, but it was solid. Good band. Gravehuffer, friend of the show. The Neanderthals Rise 2026 show dates. They are from Missouri. Looks like they have Kansas City, Colorado Springs, Denver, Salt Lake City, Vegas, Albuquerque, Oklahoma City, KC, Joplin, and a few others. So maybe we'll catch that tour. All Them Witches are going to tour with King Buffalo. This looks like the Southeast and the Midwest. That's a great tour. Coroner, last few dates coming up this week. I just saw them in Berkeley, and I just want to rap for a second. Some real talk to my besties out here. Like, if you love bands, you have to go see them, especially rock and metal music is outsider music. We've learned that. It's not really for everybody. We're never going to be fully accepted and loved. And the reality is that artists don't make money except when they sell merch at shows, of which they're already getting kind of ripped off by the venues. And they need you to show up and go see them so they will come back again. A lot of people say to me, like, I didn't know this band was coming on tour. Well, there's a show every week where I talk about all the tours that got announced. There's posters with the tour dates. You can pause and copy down your date or go to ghostcultmag.com and find those things. But, like, I saw a fully packed, almost sold out room. It's only like 250 people, but packed on a Tuesday. And I was actually late to the show, and it was wall-to-wall people. And I had to navigate through the crowd to get to merch. And I was not annoyed. I was happy. I was like, I'm so glad this show is packed. Now, Coroner hasn't toured much since they reunited. They did a tour in the last couple of years. They played Maryland Death Fest. I missed them. This is the first time I have ever seen this band I have been a fan of since high school or community college. So it was really amazing. They were great. The Heathen opened, one of my favorite bands, missed the beginning, but caught most of their set. Love them. Hometown show for Heathen. Go see these bands when they come to your town, and don't complain if they don't come back again and you don't go see them. Soapbox off. I Hate God has added a fall UK tour. They're already on tour all spring with Crowbar. Wake is going to open an Intercourse, kind of fun band. Hard to Google, but fun. Maybe I Hate God is going to announce a new album. Amon Clock Tour, just a reminder, we should be covering this, Amon Amarth and Death Clock, with support from Castle Rat. Roddy Bottom's book tour wraps up next week. I would love to see him do a reading. He already did San Francisco, and I missed it. It was sold out. Queensryche had to cancel a few dates this week due to illness. I don't know if it was Jeff that was personally unwell, but they have rebooked the dates they had to cancel, so that's nice. I know Jeff has promised an Operation Mindcrime 3 at some point. Do we need this? Metal Bay 87 and Jennifer Walker LV has passed by. Nice to see you. Appreciate you. So I think that's that. All right, just a reminder about the tip menu. If you're feeling tipsy, please drop us a tip. We appreciate it. We are going to do memberships soon. I know I keep promising that. Quick word from our affiliate partner, Fable Beard. Look at this awesome beard. I smell great. I was saying today to my girlfriend, this is the best my beard has ever done. I got this holiday scent, the Wreath Wrangler, that smells like just gorgeous. And then there's also the Villager, which is also excellent. They also have non-scented balms and beard products in case someone in your life is sensitive to smells. They come in these cool droppers. They come in beautiful packaging. They're like based on D&D characters, right? Which is, right up my nerd ass alley. I haven't really played D&D since high school, but I respect everybody that is in the hustle as a dungeon master. So I put a little beard oil on my comb and then just brush it in like so. Smells great, feels great, no dandruff, great healthy beard, doesn't irritate my extremely sensitive skin, all natural ingredients, no additives or BS. Amazing stuff. Fable Beard. If you want to hook up your beard and get your beard game like my beard game, they also have a deodorant, beard washes, shampoos, all the things. Use the link in our description or our link tree. Get $10 off your first order. We get free Fable Beard merch and products. When you see ads at ghostcultman.com, that's from the Lamb Goat Media Network. Lamb Goat, the much meaner version of Ghost Cult, I like to say. They are our friends. Also, shout out to my homie and my break in case of glass web developer, Craig Caruso, carusoapps.com. Check it out if you need help with your WordPress and digital strategy needs. And of course, we're streaming everywhere but TikTok on StreamYard. If you want to stream like we do, use StreamYard. Denise passed by. She's one of our top viewers on TikTok. Thanks, Denise. I really appreciate you. All right. We're on all the things: Twitch, Threads, Blue Sky, Reddit, Discord, all the things. So let's run down the news. There are some major things going on in the world of rock and metal this week. First and foremost, let's talk about Kurt Cobain. An independent body of forensic scientists looked at all the evidence of Kurt Cobain's suicide and they're alleging, this is not, their findings say that the results are not conclusive with suicide. I think this is insane. And, I think it's pretty insane to open up a case that is closed 30 years ago this year, 32 years ago, and say, like, Cobain didn't kill himself. Epstein didn't kill himself. Kurt Cobain definitely did, in my opinion. Have you ever met junkies? The notion, Courtney has been fighting this thing. Courtney Love has been fighting this thing as it is, she was a woman in punk rock. She helped start Riot Girl, and she's had deal with the people shitting on her for 30 years. She loved Kurt. She definitely didn't kill him. It's insane. I've met Dylan Carlson. I've interviewed him. I've spent time around him. This guy has like one brain cell left after he fried himself in the 80s. So they claim that the certain things are not adding up, but it's very, it's not very conclusive, I would say, from what I read. Maybe I'll do a video on it next week. Maybe I'll do a poll over the weekend and see if people want me to actually do a whole episode on it. But I wasn't quick to I know people jumped on this for clicks, and I didn't. And I'm probably dumb, and I probably should have, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really, what I read didn't look like conclusive evidence to me. But what do I know? I don't think he killed himself. Yes, Dillinger, these aren't, yes, you watched it, yes. Yes, I'm saying that I read the report. I didn't skim it. I read it. I took some notes in case I was going to do a show on it, a live stream. There are some things, again, that maybe look questionable, but none of this is new. This was all this same stuff was considered at the time of his death. And you have to have them reopen the case is for the Seattle Medical Examiner and Sheriff's Office to admit failure and say they got it wrong. I know. Yes, 10 individual accredited medical people. But what is their purpose in doing this? Because they love Kurt Cobain and they hate Courtney, because they want to see justice done. I don't know. It seems like they have a lot to gain if the case is reopened. A celebrated celebrity death will get opened up again, and that's just my thing. It's my 2 cents. But I like a lot of conspiracy theories. I liked a lot of conspiracy theories back in the day, not now. Arch Enemy, holy shit. Just a couple of months after Elisa White-Gluz left Arch Enemy under very mysterious circumstances, both the current members of the band and Angela Gasso shared the same social media post. It's basically they only want justice. All right, Dillinger, I'm with you, bro. Angela is possibly rejoining Arch Enemy. Before we get too carried away, I want to say that it is the anniversary of Burning Bridges. And so I don't know if this is just a ploy to get people hyped for an anniversary release. I know that Michael and Chris's dad passed away last year, and Michael had talked about doing a solo record, which he's worked on, and maybe not doing Arch Enemy. But I would say that I think it's a very fair bet that there's a lot of money in Arch Enemy with Angela doing festivals in Europe. I know a couple of people pointed out that she was struggling with her voice when she dropped out of the entire music business. She's done a couple of features here and there, but touring after you've been out of the game for 12, 13 years, 14 years is a lot. At the same time, would I love to see it? Of course I would. I believe something will get announced soon. But this broke the internet. Our site went down from all the traffic surge. Social media posted, gangbusters. So people are apparently very into this. And of course, I think there's a thing happening. Somebody jumped in my comments and was like, she wasn't their first singer. And I never said she was their first singer, because I know I know Johan Livia, and I know, Black Earth and all of that. And they did the Black Earth tour a while back. I think when people see misinformation, it just triggers their brain, and they just start assuming that we all, because there's a phenomenon in journalism, which again, a lot of my brethren are not journalists, but there's a phenomenon called sameness of news. And that's on one hand, if everybody has the same news, we all become kind of numb to it. And on the second hand, if you don't have the same news everybody else has, you look like, why don't you have this? So even when I have broken stories, uncovered stuff, discovered things, found out things, been given tips that were valid, people are like, well, I didn't see it anywhere else, so you must be full of shit. Well, no, because the internet is full of shit and Facebook is full of shit, you know? I saw something today that like Rob Halford is going to do a 10-part Netflix series on gay metalheads. He's not. Like, don't believe if it sounds too fantastical, it is 100% not real. But anyway, Arch Enemy, I'm excited to see what this turns out to be. Keep it tuned to Ghost Cult. We will immediately tell you what the deal is as soon as we know beyond this social media teaser. Nevermore. This is the big thing we were waiting for. I was surprised it happened so soon, but they have their debut show in April, so they announced who the lineup was, and it's 3 nondescript unknown guys. I know people were unhappy about the announcement that didn't tell us who they were, or tell us some stuff about them, but I have assurances from the publicist at Rating Phoenix Music. They will be doing a drip campaign where you learn about each guy leading up to the show, and they're going to, maybe they're going to do some new music. They're definitely going to do this tour and get their feet wet again. They've been rehearsing. Ola Englund directed the documentary, took this photograph. I think it's kind of cool. Fun times. All right. Bad Bunny and Kid Rock. Whatever you want to say, whichever halftime show you watch. I watched the Bad Bunny one, and I thought it was amazing and wholesome almost, and, beautifully done and very in-depth. Go watch New Rockstar's breakdown of the Super Bowl halftime show if you really want to get an in-depth understanding of what that entire thing was about. But I will say the fallout from Kid Rock's whether it's a failure or not is not for me to say. I think it was, but the fallout is that his Rock the Country concert tours are now losing shows by the day. There was some discussion about whether he lip synced or not, or whether he was syncing his live vocals to backing tracks. Sure, it was not live. Bad Bunny's performance was performed live, but the audio track was all pre-recorded. So, but here, just like bands dropping off the Rock the Country thing, multiple dates being canceled. Even at the thing, he was putting on a show, and like even the people that were live in the studio, which was very few because it was a televised stream thing, so it wasn't meant to have a big audience, or they should have thought about that. He cursed into the mic at the end of it like, fuck this shit. So like clearly it didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. But anyway, I love watching like white people with nice hair on conservative television turn themselves inside out about how un-American and unpatriotic Bad Bunny's show was, when it was absolutely American, because Puerto Ricans are Americans. Puerto Rico is in America, should be a state, especially if we tax them and we use and abuse their island for things. But and then dumbasses like Jake Paul, who lives in Puerto Rico for a tax shelter, complained about the Super Bowl and was pretty racist on a tweet. But Jake Paul's a dumb chuckle fuck. I'm glad he could get his face punched in for millions of dollars. He brings nothing else to humanity other than that. All right, moving on though. They put out their first new song in 12 years today, and it's a cover. It is a Dr. John cover, which I thought was interesting. We do know that Down the last couple of years was originally recording an album of covers, and what Kirk Winstein said is the band could not agree on what covers to do, so they recorded a few and then scrapped the project. Wise Blood Records is here. What's up, brother? Jackie's here. What's up? All my brethren. Much appreciated, everybody. So new Down music, new Down album coming later this year. They have some tour dates announced, and spoiler alert, Down linked that they are going to be at Aftershock. So I think we will get usually we get the Aftershock lineup late February, early March. I wouldn't be surprised if they have to put the lineup out now, because band, I don't know if that was on purpose. They made a mistake. Aftershock in my backyard here in the Bay Area in Sacramento. Maybe I will go back this year. Also, Denzel Curry and Knock Loose. Those guys put out a collab song today called Hive Mind. This week, a couple of days ago, banger song. Really fun. There's a line in it. The video is great, co-directed by Brian, the singer of the band, vocalist of Knocked Loose. He co-directed. It's like shot in a skate park. And then there's a line in there where Denzel Curry goes, "Fuck your favorite rapper." It's like one of the most brash, ballsy things I've ever heard in my life. COC, give me more song is awesome. You know, it is awesome. I was telling my partner today, I pre-ordered the Lamb of God and the COC like instantaneously, and I got the Gimme More single. So they were limited edition. So I'm pumped for that on the new COC web store. Yeah, it's great. I'm into it. It kind of reminds me, I thought it was going to sound more like Volume Dealer and not be so heavy, because that's the last album with Stanton Moore on drums, I think, or he came in at that time. And then they moved to Bauer, if I'm not mistaken. But I actually thought it was pretty heavy and reminded me of it reminded me of the COC trio, which didn't have Pepper. It also reminded me of Wise Blood, like the boogie metal. So I'm into it. New Down, new COC. Didn't think it was going to happen in the same week, but here we are. Also, so yes, Down, COC, Denzel Curry. Here's the COC photo with Stanton Moore and Patrick Brothers on bass. My man from Hockey on bass. Dio, look out! Dio and Black Sabbath, aka Heaven and Hell, is getting a deluxe box set of everything they ever released, plus live concerts, including live at Vakken, which was one of Ronnie's last shows ever. And I'm kind of pumped for this. It's going to be expensive. I might have to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to see if Rhino will send it to me. They did send me that Smashing Pumpkins box set, and they liked the job I did. So we'll see if they'll send me this. Interestingly enough, I wanted the Kiss box set, and I shot my shot asking for it. One of the 2 Kiss box sets that came out last week, and they're like, "We could theoretically send it to you if you will send it back to us after you make all your content." I was tempted, but I didn't. It's risky. This is amazing. This is Graham Bonnet is doing a new solo album, and he has a song with Bruce Dickinson. They shot the music video for this in Southern California recently, as Bruce Dickinson is in the LA area making a brand new solo album, The Mandrake Project, Volume 2. Graham Bonnet, new solo album coming soon. Graham's been fighting with his former band Alcatraz. It's adorable. You old white guys are adorable when you fight with each other. Evil Rob's here. What's up, brother? Long time no talk. We should catch up soon. So yeah, Graham Bonnet and Bruce Dickinson. I'm into it. Pussifer has recorded a cover from Low as part of their ICE protests. I don't know if they have multiple covers. I know Perfect Circle had done a lot of covers at one point with the Emotive Project, but this has not officially been released. It was in their stories, so I don't know if it's going to get released at a later time. Vienna Falco's here. What's up? Dawn of the Dan has passed by. What's up? What's up? All right. Let's see what else. What else? Almost done with the show. 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Good morning, Saturday to everybody else in the world. Burton C. Bell is selling some of his photography on his website to fund his future recording and endeavors. Some of these are very pricey, but pretty interesting time-lapse photos and some other nature photos and things that he has been doing. Still waiting for a full Burton C. Bell tour, but he did open for God Forbid last year in a show we covered in LA. Here, these handsome bastards are exhumed from San Jose and the Bay Area, and they have a new album coming soon. They have a new song coming soon, so perhaps I will interview the band. Voivod has a new single and a video out this week, on tour soon, one of my favorite bands of all time. This is Ghost Bells. Their new album, Cat Couture, is out now, and they have just been announced as the opener for the entire 2026 KMFDM tour. So that's exciting. I know KMFDM had pushed their tour to late spring after some illness issues, but they will be on tour with them. If you want an absolute unhinged, weird band, Kalahunka out of Dallas, Texas. I just talked to these guys. They are bananas. They're basically, they call their music slug metal or slugcore, and it is basically avant-garde grindcore meant to be listened to by slugs. I don't know what the fuck that is about or what I just said, but I promise you I'm sober right now. But they're not. I actually have never done drugs. I was correct. I was like, "Are you guys done drugs?" He's like, "We have never done drugs." I was like, "You got to be shitting me. You've never done drugs." I know a lot of drug people. You seem like people that have done a lot of drugs. But okay. Guilt Trip, the British sort of crossover metalcore, hardcore band, just dropped a new EP this week with a few new songs. They're going on tour soon. Super fun band. Nick Sampson of the long-running UK old-school death metal band Benediction has stepped down from the band. He's better known as the lead guitarist that just joined Onslaught. He's actually a quite shred-tastic lead player. Benediction has a series of festivals and headline dates coming up this spring and summer, and they have a fill-in bassist for now, and they will recruit a new bassist later. But Nick has moved on to just focus on Onslaught. I know they have a new record coming out. They have a lot of touring going on. Good for him. This is the project I was talking about, Good Day Father, which brings together, this is kind of fucking wild. It's Brian Futter from Catherine Wheel and Tanya Donnelly from Belly. I do feel like this band name is probably an inside joke because I don't like, okay, that's interesting. Is it Good Day Father or Good Day Father? There's no punctuation. It must be an inside joke. But I'm excited. I love Catherine Wheel and I love Belly, and I'm super excited for whatever indie alternative rock album they put together themselves. I'll be looking out for the music. Also, While She Sleeps is a band we've covered a lot here. It goes called metalcore band. They launched their own fan community called the Sleep Society. Pretty killer. Great band to photograph. I actually photographed them with Architects and Bring Me the Horizon in Brooklyn way back in the day, in the pre-plague times. They are taking a break from touring to focus on a new album for probably 2027. And they were talking about kind of the expectation to constantly tour and quickly put out a new record. And they just felt like they want to really hone in and spend time writing on this new album. And they're going to be off the road for a while, and they want people to know it. So I think that's fine, you know? It's an unhealthy time in the world. Do you be healthy as you can? Also, Frozen Soul put out a brand new song, a pretty grindy death metal song. It's like a minute long, 53 seconds long. They're going on tour soon, opening for Avatar. A lot of Avatar kids are going to learn about Frozen Soul for the first time. They might get punched in the face. We probably should get a Frozen Soul interview at some point soon. A killer song from Frozen Soul from Texas, Buck Ice. And then this was kind of interesting. We told you we were talking about Cliff Burton last week, right? This week was Cliff Burton Day on the 10th. This is Graham Nash. Really quick, this is kind of a trend on Threads where older rock and classic rock artists are doing this like trend where they're like telling about themselves. Here's me. And it's kind of a bring awareness to sobriety and men's health and mental health, especially. So here's Graham Nash, who I did not think he was on Threads. Maybe someone posted this for him, but 84 years old, living in New York City, still learning how to live honestly. I spent years numbing things I didn't know how to face, carrying pain I never put into songs. Today I'm sober. Today I'm healing, still here. I thought that was great. So I just wanted to mention that for a second. Dillinger says, I predict there'll be a new Oathbreaker record. They're already playing gigs. So I think Caro will rejoin them. I don't know if they got a new singer, but I think it's Caro. And I know she's been busy with Amun Ra. But yeah. So anyway, now, this is fun. Turnstile. Boy, these guys won't quit. The last few weeks, Brady Ebert of Turnstile calls out his former band for being shills and stealing from charity and being, the virtue signalers and performative. Then he announced his new band, The Set. They dropped a new single. And then he started shit-talking his own band, and then his band kicked him the fuck out this week. So fuck that guy. And they also have a new single. So don't talk shit. Here's the Cliff Burton blurb. This week was Cliff Burton Day in Castro Valley, California, right across the bay from San Francisco. It was pretty cool. Some bands played. There was like a round table of guests. You can go watch that on the Gomez Grip YouTube channel. Gomez Grip, just like it sounds. He is a Castro Valley person and metal scene guy, and he has been basically the reason there has been Cliff Burton Day. Pretty amazing. Also, Brian Slagle is going to be a guest on the Jim Rome podcast. Jim Rome's one of the biggest sports podcasts. He used to be on ESPN, kind of a dick, but he's very knowledgeable about sports, especially hockey. You know that Brian is a massive hockey fan and has one of the biggest personal collections of hockey jerseys in the world at his house. And again, we got the full Record Store Day list now at recordstoreday.com, but Glacially Musical will be breaking down the whole list, the entire list, next week. But also, I will be doing an upcoming preview of what my pull list will be for Record Store Day, what my hopeful pull list will be. And then I will do a post Record Store Day share of what I have. So, now it's time for New Music Friday. We did this last week. Let's see if we can do it again, where I play some music. Y'all on TikTok might be out of luck, but what can you do? Before I run through the new music that came out this week, not that big a list, but a decent list for the 13th of February, Friday the 13th. Let's see some stuff. Oh, this is a band I really love. Let's see if this is on YouTube. On the tube of you. Let's find this band. Let's see. I had a problem with screen sharing on Zoom this week. Oh, here we go. Ashbringer. Subglacial. This is the title track from their new album that's out today. Let's do a little of this. I'll hit play. This is kind of beautiful. My beard smells so good. All right, driving on a desolate, snowy road. Ooh, a little key change in there. Oh, very Panopticon. Oh, my dude is in the back seat playing guitar. That's fun. I'd like to do that. I want to just ride in the back seat and play guitar. Oh, a little Woodsy You Pray there. Nice. I think the heavy part's about to start. Let's see. Oh! He's upset about something. Ashbringer are kind of a black metal band, basically. They did a split with Regana last year. It was a great doom band. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I love this. All right. picking. Oh shit. Ass black metal part. All right, that's pretty great, I gotta say. I'm not even mad about it. All right. Pretty damn great. That was fun. Wow. 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 All right. Let's do the New Music Friday rundown real quick. That was fun. New albums this week out by Angel Dust. That's the hardcore band. Cold to the Touch on Run for Cover Records. Ashbringer Subglacial on Bulwark Records. Austin Star, I Am the Enemy for some prog rock on Frontiers SRL. Also on Frontiers SRL, Black Swan, the band. Paralyzed. Blazoner, Sonic Chambers EP, self-released. Blood Red, one word. Colors of Pain on Massacre Records for some death metal. Borrower, Killer Demons, one word. Octopus Rising Records. Converge, I listened to this record. Unbelievable. Love Is Not Enough. Another great Death Wish Inc. and Epitaph Records release from Converge. Dyspnea, Radici, Code 666 Records, definitely death metal album. Ernette des Schwarzen Flamme Vermachtennis on Purity Through Fire Records. Eye of Purgatory, Darkborn on Apostasy Records. Force Fed Horsehead and Shaving the Werewolf Split from Horrid to Worse Split EP. Force Fed Horsehead, definitely the best band name this week. Fossilization, Advent of Wounds on Everlasting Spew, Death Metal. Frostmourner, Orbital Chaos on Wormhole Death for some cosmic death metal. Frozen Ocean, Ascodromer on Apocalyptic Witchcraft Records. Glass Bone, Ruthless Savagery EP on Frozen Records. Greyhawk for some heavy fucking metal from Seattle. Warriors of Greyhawk Cruise till Sir Music. Helicopters, Cream of the Crap Collected Non-Album Works Volume 3. Hulk's Death Knocks on Relapse Record. Good band. Malefic, Impermanence on Terminus Hate City Records for some more extreme metal. Muertissima, Prophecy on Fetzener Death Records. No Worth of Man, Killing Streets on Brutal Records. Overtune, Death Drive Anthropology on Time to Kill Records. We reviewed that record, pretty killer. Pilgrims, Gemini, self-released. Ponte de Diavolo, De Venom Natura on Season of Mist. Ravenspell, Obsidian King on Fighter Records. Slaughter Day, Dread Emperor on Testimony Records. Space of Variations is the German space rock heavy metal band. Poisoned Art on Napalm Records. Sun Decay, The Blood Lives Again, self-released. TX2, End of Us for some metalcore on Hopeless Records. And probably one of the most talked about releases of the week, Worm, Necroplace on Century Media Records. That is a comeback record for Worm that I think was retired for quite a while. So, with that out of the way, it's the final part of the show, and it's time for the mailbag. And I have kind of a mailbag potpourri today. So I'm going to get rid of this and just do the solo view of me. So I have a few things to show you. I got contacted by this fancy vape company, T-Vape, for two of their products. And I'm not going to unbox them now, but I am going to do a review for the website and future content about this. But if you're vaping people, we're vaping people at this house, the Arc GT4 by Zeus from the company T-Vape is a gold-plated vape that will allow you to vape both herb and liquids. It sounds like pretty high-tech falutin stuff. I'm trying to get into more product stuff. I talked about these awesome NT100 headphones from Rode and my Blue Yeti Rode mics, and talked about all those things lately, and Stream Deck and things like that. So they sent us the vape, and they sent us this cooling diffuser, which you put into the vape and then draw pulls from the diffuser. This seems really cool technology. I'm really excited to try it out. I have some herb here and maybe some liquids that work. But also, let's do some other things in Keefe's bag of junk. I have a couple of t-shirts to share with you. I'm not a big Valentine's Day person, but just happened to get my partner a couple of gifts. Love you, Melissa. We got matching shirts from Unto Others with this bat. Look at this awesome bat design. Really high quality shirt. Pretty nice price. Unto Others is working on new music. I know they finally delivered their Halloween 2 EPs this week after their debacle with the vinyl provider. I also got this awesome t-shirt from that weird t-shirt shop, The Shitty Beatles. If you know, you know. If you don't know, let me know. But if you know, you know. Maybe I'll give a Shitty Beatles related prize away. Then I got a little delivery of some more purchases, some more vinyl purchases, but these are some 7-inches. So I got a 7-inch box set collection from Cro-Mags, their 2020 EP, all collected as a 7-inch. So 7 inches from a Rising Empire Records. Pretty cool. This is all from these vinyls come to us from the MVD shop that normally has B movies and horror movies. Love you too, babe. So I got this Cro-Mags set, which is dope. I really would like to interview Harley Cro-Mag again. Definitely go see his movie that came out last year. It was pretty amazing. 2 singles from Rancid's series of singles. Here's Devil's Dance, Clockwork Orange, Emperor's Lapdog at 100 Years. And also Black Lung, Life Won't Wait, New Dress, and Warsaw. I think these were like Out Come the Wolves singles that they put out. And then last and not least, the Dahmers, Terror on Wheels. Dahmers have a new song coming out in a few weeks. So I'm kind of excited for that. So that's kind of a potpourri edition of the mailbag this week. I have a lot of stuff at home to check. I'm cutting through the backlog of things to check. So that is the mailbag, which means that's the show. Thanks so much for watching. It has been a week, let me tell you, but I'm grateful for all of you. I'm glad to still be here. And as we say every week in this juncture of the show, before we take it home, it's a tough time in the world. So take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and remember to stay as metal as humanly possible. Be like Corpse Grinder and respect the neck. And that is the weekly ritual by Ghost Cult. I'm going to dance a jig on the way out. Follow at Ghost Cult Mag. Peace.